The Untold Truth of Tom Hanks.
Part 1.
Some say the age of the Hollywood star is over. In a media landscape dominated by franchises big and small, lead actors are only as relevant as the popularity of their characters allows them to be. While the current state of stardom in Hollywood can be debated endlessly, there still remains a generation of older actors who rose to fame in the heyday of the Hollywood superstar. Tom Hanks is one such actor who became a star in the 1980s thanks to a string of leading roles in well-received comedies. From there, he gradually transitioned to dramatic roles that earned him 2 consecutive Academy Awards for Best Actor and established Hanks as a serious character actor in a leading man's shoes. After the start of the 2000s, Hanks changed up his game once again as he started to take on older statesman roles in well-received films from 2002's Catch Me If You Can to 2016's Sully. Thanks to his acclaimed filmography and affable everyman persona, Tom Hanks has an enduring impact on 21st century pop culture and the current zeitgeist. And if you want to know more about the beloved A-lister, read on for some facts about the man behind Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Toy Story that you might not have known.
Tom Hanks has a special formula for choosing films.
It can be difficult to pinpoint what exactly takes an actor out of the realm of a successful leading man and turns him into a genuine Hollywood superstar. Some actors like Leonardo DiCaprio seem almost destined for cinematic greatness, while others like Johnny Depp seem to accidentally stumble into stardom. For Tom Hanks, the transition from reliable leading man to confirmed A-lister started when he gave up doing hit comedies and decided instead to focus on moving dramas that have something to say about the state of the world and the human condition. In a 2001 interview for O, the Oprah magazine, Hanks mentioned that he tries to pick projects based on the 3 E's, so he makes movies that serve to entertain, educate, and enlighten his audience. Of course, it is not always possible to hit all 3 marks in the same movie, as Hanks readily admitted in an interview with Film Companion when talking about his 2016 film Inferno. According to Hanks, popular entertainment does often land in this place where all those 3 things are brought about by nothing more than a well-made movie. And that is the kind of cinema that Hanks wants to continue to support in a franchise-obsessed industry.
He drastically reshaped his body for Castaway.
On paper, there's nothing about 2000's Castaway that feels like it should work as a blockbuster film. Almost the entire story takes place on a deserted island with a single inhabitant named Chuck Noland, played by Tom Hanks. Plus, most of the minimalistic dialogue is directed at Wilson, a volleyball that quite frankly looks more creepy than reassuring. Yet the story works thanks to a superlative central performance by Tom Hanks. Whether desperately scrounging for food, trying to fashion a home out of airplane wreckage, or knocking out his own tooth, every move made by the actor feels sincere and heart-wrenching. A major part of that sincerity comes through in the way we see Hank's character go from looking like a tubby, well-fed man to a skinny, weather-hardened scavenger after years of living alone on the island. To achieve such a dramatic transformation, first Hanks put on extra pounds to portray the early part of Chuck's stay on the island. After that, he had to lose more than 50 pounds in less than a year to film the second half of the movie. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Hanks admitted that such extreme working conditions were a burden to get through, but the critical and commercial acclaim Castaway received probably helped soothe the painful memories.
His Forrest Gump accent was based on his young counterpart.
More than any other film in his career, it was 1994's Forrest Gump that established Tom Hanks as one of cinema's most beloved stars thanks to the immensely likable persona of his titular character. Hanks was fully committed to preparing for the role of Forrest Gump, but a major part of selling the character to the audience meant ensuring that Forrest's childhood persona also felt authentic.
Run, Forrest, run!
younger Forrest was played by fledgling 8-year-old actor Michael Connor Humphreys. For the story to work, it was essential for Humphreys and Hanks to sound like the younger and older version of the same character. To that end, as Hanks told Graham Norton in an interview, he decided to learn to speak in Humphreys' accent rather than trying to make the young actor copy his. The method worked, and Hanks' accent, mined from the deepest parts of Mississippi that Humphreys was from, added another layer of authenticity to his portrayal of Forrest, while simultaneously making it easier for the audience to divorce his character from other roles that Hanks had played in the past.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
He found a doppelganger in his brother.
One of Hanks' most beloved roles is Sheriff Woody, the loving and courageous cowboy doll from Pixar's Toy Story franchise. Hanks has frequently expressed his affection for Toy Story, but due to the busy nature of his work schedule, it's not always possible for Hanks to give his voice to Woody. Enter Jim Hanks, Tom's younger brother, who's also an actor and filmmaker. While Jim has his own separate career, he's occasionally dipped his toes in his more famous brother's esteemed filmography.
Ha-ha! Boy, am I glad to see you.
Is that you?
No, it's my brother Jim.
Thanks to the similarity between the two brothers' looks and speech, not to mention their familiarity with each other, Jim has occasionally acted as a substitute for Tom when the latter actor couldn't do a role. Jim was a running double for Forrest Gump in the character's titular film, and he's also voiced Woody for video games and commercials. In an interview with Graham Norton, Tom Hanks mentioned that whenever the studio comes to him with voiceover work he doesn't want to do, he says, "Get my brother Jim, he'll do it."
You don't want to do this. You said, no, get my brother Jim, he'll do it. So that's my brother Jim.
Tom Hanks is an honorary Army Ranger.
While Tom Hanks is mostly known for playing white-collar characters, he's had occasions to portray grittier professions. For example, take Hanks' turn as U.S. Army Ranger Captain in the 1998 American epic war film Saving Private Ryan. The movie is set during the invasion of Normandy in World War II, where Hanks' John H. Miller is tasked with finding a paratrooper in the middle of a war zone. Saving Private Ryan drew great acclaim for its hauntingly realistic portrayal of war and the toll it takes on the soldiers at the front lines. In order to get into the minds of their characters, Hanks and the rest of the cast underwent several days of arduous boot camp exercises under the direction of former U.S. Marine Corps Captain Dale Dye. Hanks' experiences while making the movie left a deep impression on his mind, and he's since become an active supporter of many non-profits that work on behalf of the armed forces. According to the website for Fort Benning, Hanks has been named as honorary member of the Army Ranger Hall of Fame for his accurate portrayal of a Ranger Company commander during the Second World War, and also for his service as a national spokesman for the World War II Memorial Campaign and honorary chairman of the D-Day Museum Capital Campaign.
He's related to both Mr. Rogers and Abraham Lincoln.
Before becoming one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, Tom Hanks grew up in a humble home in Concord, California, to middle-class parents where he had a thoroughly grounded childhood. Although Hanks earned his status as a millionaire superstar through his own talent and hard work, it's since been revealed that he has some pretty influential relatives that Hanks himself was not aware of. In 2019, the actor portrayed famed children's show host Fred Rogers in the biographical drama A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. While promoting the film, it was revealed to Hanks by Ancestry.com, and that's with the help of CNN News, that he's actually related to the real-life Mr. Rogers, and the two are sixth cousins. Hanks was clearly impressed by the revelation and declared, "It all just comes together, you see." Mr. Rogers is not the only American icon that Hanks is related to. While announcing his role as narrator for the National Geographic Channel movie Killing Lincoln, Hanks revealed that he is a third cousin, 4 times removed, of Abraham Lincoln on his mother's side. Due to the connection, Lincoln was a source of inspiration for Hanks right from his childhood days.
He knew he was going to be a star.
The bigger a star Tom Hanks has become, the more modest he seems to have grown about his accomplishments and his hand in making his movies a success. But it seems the younger version of Hanks, when he was still studying to become an actor, was considerably cockier about his chances of making it in Hollywood. In fact, he even wrote a letter to a classmate's uncle, George Roy Hill, the Oscar-winning director behind such classics as 1973's The Sting and 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. In his letter to Hill via Delancey Place, Hanks nonchalantly laid out a plan for the acclaimed filmmaker to discover him, such as having Hill notice Hanks sitting in a soda shop and immediately signing him up for a movie, or the two meeting on a bus and quickly becoming friends and business partners. Hanks' tongue-in-cheek letter appears to have tickled Hill's fancy. The filmmaker replied to Hanks' missive, in which he suggested that Hill could discover the aspiring actor after crashing into him with his car while Hanks was commuting to Skyline High on his pogo stick.